Our goal in this webinar is to make you become our Salvona's ambassador in order to spread the word, help us grow together with your business as a consultant. In this capacity, we would like to bring you up to date about our new technologies, solution, trends. What do we think will happen in the next step to give you definitely a step going forward. And you can grow with us, and that's our goal. What we will do in this webinar? In this webinar, we'll focus on a new trend, not new, but a recent trend, focus on water-free products. We'll talk about why do we need to do water-free product, what are water-free products, what are the challenges in terms of formulation. We will introduce several of our technologies that can be used for water-free product. And we'll show you at the end even how to use them in actual live from our lab. So there are 3 parts in my webinar today. But before we go directly to those that are not familiar with us, I would like to introduce in 2 seconds what is all about Salvona. Salvona is a company established about 23 years ago. And it's a technology that develops and manufactures advanced raw materials. Advanced raw materials that consider to be a technology. Our technologies are micro-encapsulation. We do different type of encapsulation in different size, in different features, with different benefits. So there is no one formula that solves all the problems. Later, about a couple of years ago, we moved and we have established a contract manufacturer company that is able to transform the technologies into finished product. We would like to offer to collaborate with you on both areas, raw materials, formulation, and also contract manufacturer. So when we do a collaborative effort, of course, we will pay the royalties for any business that we work in a collaborative way, either raw materials and you formulate and somebody else manufacture it, or raw materials and finished product that is manufactured under ABL, Advanced Beauty Lab Organization. So this is the opportunity for you. Now, for this specific waterless product, let's look a little bit about the information. Why do we need this? So if you look at the globe, you will see all the gray area. The gray area are areas that are already considered to be desert. There is no water. The issue is about 2/3 of the world is going to be areas that there is no sufficient water to drink. You see all the yellow and the red, these are the areas of concern. About 2/3 of the world population is going to be living in a limited water availability. So if this is the case, we have to keep the water for its purpose, for our life, and maybe less for cosmetic products. So this is now becomes our mission, and the question is, what can we do about this? From the commercial point of view, many companies took initiative. The major companies like L'Oreal, Unilever, Procter, and others already decided that they are going to manufacture products with decreased concentration of water. So this is one step forward to address the issue. Other companies, smaller companies, took it completely to the extreme and are offering water-free, waterless, and also unhydrous product. So this is product from Korea are already waterless. There are many products also in the US that also offer waterless solutions. We are going to focus about waterless solution, how to make them, and what technologies we have now that could help you create water-free products. Considerations. What are the considerations moving forward? Number one is, as you know, most of the skincare products contain about 80 to 97% water, including serums that contain a huge amount of water. So the idea or the target is to find out how can we reformulate those products. By adding water as a filler to many of the products, the functional ingredients are and as they are less effective. So this is a consideration how to keep efficacy and performance without dilution. Now, water-based products are a good substrate to breed bacteria. Bacteria can grow only in presence of water. When the product is dry, bacteria can be there, but not to grow. So the more water we have, the more antiseptic or preservative we need. And you know the issues with preservative and the trend to reduce preservative and use natural kind of preservatives. Okay, so this is the basic line. Now, what would be the benefit if we make products that are waterless? First of all, we're definitely looking forward to increase the shelf stability because there is no water and no oxidation taking place. Then the product would be more concentrated and probably more powerful. The interesting thing is the product that contain water are actually drying out the skin because they cause evaporation. And as the water leaving our skin, they are stripping away the natural oils from the skin, making the skin drier. So moisturizers with water are not always helping us. However, the oil fraction is the fraction that helps us to retain our natural moisture and even add on to this. So once we use waterless product, we also have a good chance to reduce inflammation and breakouts and other side effects because all these products contain a lot of synthetic emulsifiers, chemical, colorants, fragrances, preservative, and they stay on the skin when the water evaporates. And these are the materials that are causing inflammation, side effects, breakouts, acne, and stuff like that. So by not using them, we really can avoid all these side effects. And of course, by using smaller packages, we also will decrease the carbon footprint, and it's good to the environment as well as good to the skin. So these are the considerations for our waterless product. Now, what are the benefits of waterless product? Now, one should understand upfront, if you want to moisturize the skin, you better drink the water. The moisturizing or the increased water content of the skin cannot come from a cream or outside application. The water evaporates. The question is how much of this will actually stay on the skin. So what we anticipate that we will increase stability, we will have a more concentrated and maybe more effective product coming up. So taking to the extreme of waterless or water-free are the anhydrous product. And you're all familiar with anhydrous product. I just would like to say that the bacteria have a difficult time to grow in anhydrous product. Bacteria needs water to propagate as much as other creatures and animals and plants need water to propagate. However, when there is no water, bacteria cannot grow, but spores can stay in the medium. And once they have the opportunity to grow, they will grow. And you can see here, this is an anhydrous base. And anhydrous base can also grow bacteria when bacteria find the condition appropriate for growing. Therefore, many people are adding preservative, but a smaller dosage to anhydrous. The major issue with anhydrous product is the fact that the fatty acids tend to get oxidized and become rancid. What does it mean? Rancid, they have very bad odor, undesirable odor like fish, fermented fish oil that many people don't like to put on their skin. This is the major issue when we are considering to use totally anhydrous product, and using natural fatty acid, for example, conjugated linoleic acid, and so on. The typical solution that we can offer from our point of view is to use encapsulated oils and encapsulated acids. And this will help with rancid product. Also, one can add other kind of antioxidant like vitamin E tocopherol and other kind of antioxidant to mitigate a bit the problem. But the best solution that we found so far is with encapsulated fatty acids. Now, when we say water-free, what do we mean? And what is the actual meaning of water-free? You see in this name of cucumber water or mushroom extract. These are solutions of botanical or other extract with water. We are committed to supply technologies for waterless and water-free beauty product. That means that we don't mean water or waterless by using infused botanical in water, such as the cucumber water. We are talking about supplying high quality products that are sustainable and make a significant difference in their appearance and performance. And this kind of product are based on a specific technology, and the technology is called MultiSal. MultiSal is a way by which we encapsulate functional ingredients in two steps. First, we encapsulate them into submicron spheres, like the small blue beads that you can see. And then these small beads are re-encapsulated into a microsphere with a certain thickness of a shell. So the ingredients are actually encapsulated in two steps, one into the submicron and then into the microsphere. And in this kind of technology, we can encapsulate both water-based and anhydrous product as well. So this is a very unique solution to use in waterless. These are powders, very fine powder that can easily be incorporated in any kind of oil or butter and so on. So the major features of MicroSal when related to waterless product include it provides very good stability and protection from oxidation, from dilution, from reaction with other type of ingredients. It also provides something very unique that's called the triggered release. The only way to release the encapsulated ingredients is by triggering it, which means exposing it to moisture. So you apply it on the skin, the moisture of the skin is able to activate and burst release the ingredients from the capsule. This is called triggered release. And the mechanism is activated by water. Because they are encapsulated, they provide a longer lasting effect and of course a longer lasting shelf life. They're totally water-free. The powder has no water at all, and they are very compatible with typical oils and butters. Very easy to formulate with them. So you can incorporate them in a simple process, and they help to make the product more creamy and smooth. So this is our MultiSal. You can see here under a microscope that the tiny beads are incorporated in a larger particle, and this technology is patented by Salvona, and it's therefore a proprietary solution. Again, to explain you how does it work, I show you this this image here, and you can see here is the microsphere with the submicrosphere inside, and when they're exposed to water, the water will break the shell. The shell is sensitive to water. However, the tiny beads are lipid. Lipid easily stick to the skin, can penetrate, or easily over time release the functional ingredient, so you have a long lasting effect. And with the water, you have the triggered effect. So this is our MultiSal technology. I give you an example. How does it work? Example will be MultiSal menthol. I give you other example later on, but let's start with menthol. So you know that menthol is crystal. In order to incorporate it in a formula, you have to solubilize it. So we save you this effort because we encapsulate the menthol inside our submicron spheres. These spheres are called sal sphere. Okay, sal sphere contains now the menthol inside, and the whole structure is lipid, as I mentioned, and this what helps to stick it, so prevent wash off. Stick it, adhere it, and so you doesn't get the whole amount at once. You don't get burned. If it's an acid or if it's menthol, you don't get all the menthol at once. You get it over time, so you get much more value. Then these spheres are re-encapsulated in our microsphere, and this is our MultiSal menthol. The shell is used to protect from premature release, and it has to be broken down in order to release. So this is the gatekeeper. And inside we have the submicron spheres that encapsulate the functional ingredients, and they control the rate of the release. So what do we know about MultiSal functions and how they are useful for what we need to do? So many of the anhydrous, especially a heat transition process. We heat them in order to blend them, and then we mold them. And the number one question you would ask, is it stable? Is the product is going to survive the heating cycle? So we tested it, and you see here, the amount retained in the microsphere as a function of temperature. This is a test we did with a unit that's called TGA. It's measuring, it's basically a very sensitive balance that measuring the change in weight while the sample kept closed in a calorimeter in a closed system and exposed to different temperatures. And you can see here that the free menthol, the red line, dotted line, will be stable up to about 80 C, and then it will drop down. The menthol evaporates easily. However, when you encapsulate the menthol, you see there is a tiny drop, and then it's stable. Most of the menthol, like 98%, is stable in the particle. So the tiny bit that you can see is typically the menthol available on the surface, and this will evaporate fast. However, the encapsulated, which is the big majority, will stay inside the sphere. So this is example from MultiSal and how stable it is for high temperature. So you can mold it, you can bake it, and nothing will be, most of it will not be released under this situation. So that means that one can make multiple products that are based on heat. Okay, so this is heat resistant is one of the major benefits. It's also enabled to increase the dosage without making the product soft. So if you have an oil and you put too much of an oil, the product becomes so soft. But since it's a powder, it enhances the mechanical properties. So it's less soft and more solid. And you can use multiple MultiSals, for example, MultiSal with natural oil. An example is, this is how to protect lip balms, which is totally waterless. from heat. If you use MultiSal technology in the lip balm, the chances for the lip balm to melt are lower. Of course, it depends how much you use and or what other conditions are available. So other kinds of lip conditioners, you see here, encapsulation of oils, natural oils, significantly enhance the mechanical properties of different products. Now, MultiSal menthol are coming back. We also tested, does it work? Does it release? So we see how much is being released in terms of odor, 0 to 5, when 5 is very strong odor, and dry, you barely smell it, but if you expose it to liquid, including put it on the lips and licking your lips, it's sufficient to get you a burst of menthol release. So what do we know? We know that MultiSal menthol and other kind of multisals are triggered by water. So the issue where we can use it is still an issue, and let me address this. So here you can see a regular microscope actually, showing you the beads in a base. After survived, you see, a stability test for 3 months at high temperature. And we know that MultiSal can be used in multiple products. For example, deodorant sticks. And there are multiple commercial applications that utilize MultiSal in deodorant stick as long as the water activity is low. In other words, the concentration of water in the stick is low, or the water, let's say, is bound. If the water is bound and not available to break down the MultiSal, you can get a very good and stable product. Soap bar is another area that we have experienced utilizing MultiSals for different type of soap with different functions. Wax molds like talc and other kind of powder. Powder could be compressed as well with MultiSal, and many body solid balms that use MultiSal. Here are a few examples of product available on the market with or without technologies, but I want to show and feature ideas to help you see in your imagination what can you do easily right now. So soap bars. So you're familiar that there is the natural soap bar, which have a high pH, alkaline. And alkaline is, let's say, is not the best thing for the skin. It's actually damaging the skin. However, synthetic detergents, what's called Syndet, or combo bars, are offering a better pH for the skin, so they can definitely be used for different type of applications. And it's much better in general to use the synthetic because it doesn't form soap scum, and that's so typical to natural soap bars. So what do we know about soap bars? We have a good experience with soap bar as we provide MultiSal for a variety of bars that are distributed by multiple marketing companies. You see the basic one are soap bars for anti-acne and anti-blemish. Anti-acne is, of course, OTC regulated, and blemish is less regulated. So products like MultiSal salicylic acid and MultiSal clear skin, which based on alpha hydroxy acid, are available for you to use. On the other hand, soap bars for skin brightening or skin toning using MultiSal white. MultiSal white is using functional ingredients that otherwise would not be able to use in the bar, either because they discolor, irritate, or just the liquid. And if you put them as a liquid into the bar, it makes the bar very soft and you lose the mechanical properties. Here is another interesting bar to show you. This is a bar with retinol. For that kind of purpose, we offer MultiSal retinol, which is a powder, and it can go into a regular bar and form an anti-aging bar. So this is an example, or many examples here, of using technologies in waterless product, solid in this case, soap bar, but it could be any kind of balm, for example. Another group or another information to focus on MultiSal salicylic acid is the ability of the technology to adhere more of the salicylic acid onto the skin. And this is critical when you do product and you expect some performance. So look at this. This is the accumulative amount of salicylic acid remained on the skin, and we measure it in vivo by extracting the skin of volunteers with alcohol and then analyzing the level of salicylic acid over amount of ethanol that we use to extract. So the more ethanol we use, the more we extract up to a certain level. So you see here the free salicylic acid, we barely extract 0.15, 0.2% of what we used. However, if we go with encapsulated salicylic acid, you see we definitely extract a significant higher amount of salicylic acid, which means we adhere more salicylic acid and we could see a better results. We also see clinical better results, but this is an immediate test that shows that the technology enabled to adhere more of the functional ingredients onto the skin from a soap bar, from a rinse-off application. So what do we know? We know that multisal acid, salicylic acid or alpha hydroxy acid, this is a way to transform either liquid like alpha hydroxy glycolic or lactic, or salicylic acid, which is difficult to solubilize and to handle, crystals, to make them into fine powder. Once they become fine powder, they can easily be incorporated. And now you get a stable product with extended shelf life. And the release is always the same, triggered by water. And this gives a better skin deposition, extended release, so the salicylic acid does not deposit all at once, but gradually, so it does not irritate, it doesn't dry the skin like typical salicylic acid and other acids are doing. So this is a very skin-friendly solution, and I think you got the point that multisal salicylic acid is a very unique technology to treat the skin, to exfoliate the skin, to tone the skin, and so on. Toning in terms of color protection. Okay. The other aspect of waterless are shampoos and conditioner bars. This is taking care of hair care. This is very interesting concept because many people thought, oh, you must have a water-based product. Now, no, there are formulas use for hair care. The major problem with formulas that I saw was that they leave the hair very dry. Yes, they consider they have a surfactant there, but they leave the hair dry. And there is only limited amount of fat material that you can add and still get a free-flowing powder. This is the challenge. However, encapsulation can solve this problem. We can encapsulate different kinds of super fattening agent, conditioning, like palm oil, olive oil, cocoa butter, and so on. And they can help by breaking down with the water and slowly reducing. Now also, take into account that if you don't use the multisal, the typical product, the oil, absorbing the oil to any kind of a carrier, it could be silica or whatever it is, it makes the product very plasticized, and it's also make the products wear very fast, okay? So the multisal add to the mechanical properties and reducing the wear rate. This is how people call it. So what kind of multisal one can use? Multisal aloe vera, multisal jojoba, argan oil, olive oil. These all are versions that are available and you can use them in your formulations. Here is another example of the powder facial cleanser. Remove from hair to facial cleanser. And you can see one of the products available based on oat and rice powder. So this is the platform. Now, the surfactant, there are very interesting surfactant coming up based on amino acids. This is amino acid-based glutamates. For example, the potassium cocyl glucinate. This is highly biodegradable, and it can be incorporated with the oat and rice powder to get the finished product. Now, to this kind of base, one can use multisals such as multisal vitamin C, multisal citric acid, together with bicarbonate. And once they approach water, they will start to bubble. So this is a sensory benefit that one can add to the powder. So it's cleansing because you have the surfactant. Of course, you have to use the water to activate the whole system. But the product itself is totally dry, and it gives the sensory benefit as well as the functionality. There are typical multisal with natural oils and butters that can be added. Here is another example with purified charcoal. So this is another approach to dry facial cleanser. Typical technologies that one could use to enhance are multisal aloe, multisal jojoba, of course, multisal vitamin C, multisal citric acid, and many others are available, but here are a few. Now I want to come back to hair and show you dry shampoos. So you are very well familiar with dry shampoos. This is not something new. Dry shampoo products have been used for some years now to help consumers to skip a washing, or consumers that don't have access to water, or they don't want to use water daily because either they dye the hair or whatever treatment they did for the hair, and the treatment is sensitive to water, so dry shampoo may be a good solution to refresh the hair. So some of the dry shampoos are based on powder, and multisal is obviously a natural solution for this. Now others are based on aerosol. Multisal is stable in alcohol. So multisal can be incorporated in with the alcohol to be part of this. Now, how does it work? We have some experience because we are supplying multisal to different brands. So if the claim is absorb oil, sweat, or odor, we definitely offer something that's called multisal sebum control. I highlight the name of the technology. Hopefully you remember it. And when you need to incorporate something like this, you can connect. So this is based on either rice starch, aluminum starch, octinyl succinate, with some synthetic superabsorbent. So we are also using those in multisal sebum control. In multisal odor control, we use zeolite, cyclodextrin, encapsulated sometimes with another ingredients and another fragrance. So these are technologies that are addressing specific needs for absorption and odor control. Other kind of claim is to add the sensation of freshly treated, pleasant, and interesting hair care product. For that purpose, we use multisal fragrance, or we use sal scent. Sal scent is a liquid technology, anhydrous, that enables you to encapsulate your perfume and then incorporate it in the product. And for sal scent, we have a special webinar explaining how to load the perfume and how to use it. You understand? This is a completely different idea here, in which we provide you the vehicle and you load it with whatever and as much as you want. So compared to multisal, that we need to load it upfront and ship it to the manufacturer. So these are different approaches to encapsulation, and I'm happy to bring it to your attention so you know that this kind of technology is allows not just but essential oils and many other anhydrous products to be encapsulated and use them in water and water hydroalcoholic environment as well. All the time liquid environments. The other group of product I want to show you is the elixirs. Elixir definitely takes a major part over the recent years, and these are blend of oils. This is kind of similar to serum, but when serum has a high concentration of water, here we're talking about blends of oils. Typical oils, botanical oils, are those that benefit the skin. And the elixir can be used on the skin, on the lips, scalp, cuticle, and so on. So there is a really variety of applications. Technologies that can work well with elixirs include hydrosal youth, which is a delivery system of hyaluronic acid, and of course salscent to extend the release and of the natural or the fresh odor and to make it stay longer on the skin. So these are technologies that are available to you and you can use them. Then I would like to show you a body lotion. This is example of the body lotion, but body lotion can be easily made by blending different type of butters and oil. For example, cocoa butter, sweet almond, apricot kernel oil, avocado oil, and other coconut and so on. So blends of oils can be heated and mold into a well shape or any shape you would like to use. And then when you take them with your finger, actually the temperature of their body will melt them into a nice lotion. So this is a lotion without water. Very interesting concept. We recommend to use materials such as MultiSal retinol for anti-wrinkle or MultiSal vitamin C and E, which is another approach to wrinkle and toning of the skin, and many other technologies as well, but these are the top in my mind at least for body lotion. So here I'm showing you again another way to save the world. Use less water for cosmetics and make better product than regular product. Now, let's go to the practical part of this webinar, which is how to use it. So what do we know about storage of MultiSal? Here is a short message to you about how to store
MultiSal technology is available as a fine powder. It is typically packaged in a sealed bag to protect it from any moisture coming in contact with the powder. It is important to keep the MultiSal dry and free-flowing to prevent it from agglomeration. However, in case you do see agglomeration, you can further grind the MultiSal until it becomes a fine powder.
Great, very simple. Now, how to formulate with MultiSal? Here is an example of making a lip balm with MultiSal.
Keep the balm base mixed at a temperature of 60 to 80 degrees Celsius until it's completely melted in liquid. Weigh out the amount of MultiSal you will need to formulate the balm. We recommend a dosage of 2 to 5%. The actual amount will depend on the type of functional ingredients and the required dosage. You may need to run several experiments to determine the optimal dose you need for your specific application. Add the MultiSal powder gradually to the base as it is mixed to ensure it is dispersed homogeneously. The MultiSal will disperse homogeneously in the base while mixing it gently and keeping the base liquid. If you are formulating with 2 types of MultiSal, make sure the first one is completely dispersed and then add the second. Always add the powders gradually to the mixture.
Great. See, it's very easy to blend it in into any base. But what you have to keep in mind is the following. Let's summarize what we just saw. Number one, you have to keep the MultiSal dry at all opportunities that you have. You can put them in the oven at a mild temperature, nothing will happen. But the best is to keep them dry to prevent them from agglomeration. a little bit of water could cause agglomeration because the shell absorbing the water and it could swell. Then you have to prepare to homogenize it in case they are gritty. Homogenize it. Don't be worried about how much to homogenize it. You cannot break them. As long as you don't have water, they will not break. This is the rule of MultiSal. So you need to homogenize as much as you need in order to make it smooth and make your product smooth. Okay. Apply normal or maybe faster cooling in order to prevent sedimentation. So this is the basic rules. And here you can see how we continue to handle the issue of incorporating
If you
MultiSal.
see that there are agglomerations of the microspheres in the base, you can melt the base and use a homogenizer to mix in the particles of the blend. Use the homogenizer for several minutes until the MultiSal agglomerates separate and break down. The power and temperature will not break the microspheres. The end result will be a smooth lip balm.
Great. So what are the key for success in this case when we want to solve the world by using cosmetics that are environmentally sound and also practical for us? Whatever we think and we would like to communicate. The product has to be very easy to make and something that people can easily use. What is the value for encapsulation for Waterless? Number one, and I think this is the most interesting, but maybe not the most critical. The most interesting value, this product is able to offer you a triggered release, turn on and off. And you can use it with some sensory markers. You can use it with a perfume. The product is effective. You can use it with the cooling sensation to do this. So on and off is a way to store the functional ingredients and release them only when you need them the most. This is the value. Then the importance of encapsulation is encapsulating essential fatty acids or other kinds of fatty acids, such as the conjugated linoleic acid, that if you don't encapsulate it, after a short time, it will be rancid and smell terrible to a degree that people will not want to use it. Therefore, encapsulate it. We have good experience with multiple products that we use encapsulated essential fatty acids, and we got very good stability results. And then use the encapsulation in order to make the product creamy, to control the mechanical properties. So it's not too soft and of course not too hard, and make them just the right way you wanted. Now, the encapsulation is a tool to transform water-soluble, but not only, also oil material, liquid materials in general, into fine powder. This fine powder then can easily incorporate it in your base and make you a wonderful product that you and your customer would love. So to summarize, I would like to say the following. This is 1 hour almost that I showed you over 10 different technologies. We started, this is not in order of appearance, but this is another order. So MultiSal retinol, which you're all familiar with the value of retinol, and now in a powder form can be easily incorporated and stabilized. MultiSal vitamin C and E is the same. E is liquid tocopherol, and C is a powder that need to be processed in order to be used. Okay, it's crystals, and you need to process it. In other words, you need to get very fine powder. This is what we do with the MultiSal vitamin C and E. MultiSal Clear Skin is a technology to deliver alpha-hydroxy acid. I don't need to explain what alpha-hydroxy acid are and what they do. Salicylic acid is the same. MultiSal White is a technology to tone the skin. It's also a very good antioxidant. Aloe moisturizer, jojoba is a moisturizer, a sebum control, we talked about fragrances, and the liquid technology here is Sal Scent. This webinar will be online in a few hours, and you will be able to watch it again, go back to this. You can also check the website and you will get all this information. Now, as a consultant, I would like to introduce the opportunity even more. What is the mechanism to collaborate with us so both sides can win? Okay, we would like you to become our ambassador. That means that you will promote our technologies and services, and we will provide you with practical knowledge about the technology so you know what and how and why. And for that purpose, we have the webinars available. We also have an open line that you can contact our technical team, including myself, by Zoom, and I will show it to you later. Okay, and we can review product and consult and brainstorm with you on what product would be best to use. Now, we have many products that we are working on. That's called the beta stage. We are not posting them, which means they are not fully available. We would be happy to share them with you so you can start to incorporate them, and you find them good, then you can be the first one to reach the marketplace. And by this, you can enhance your position as a person who provide very new technologies that nobody else has them. And of course, we will be happy to share with you a commission on every sales that you do, and you let us know up front. So this is the condition. We need to know the involvement before we provide a quotation. So how to do that? You go to the website, salvona.com, to the section that's called consultants, and we need a simple CDA, and then we need your information. And when the opportunity comes, connect with us, let us know what is the product that you're promoting, with whom, so we know to so the connection is direct. So you tell us, then we speak directly with the customer. We don't involve you with the pricing at all. We just need to know who is your customer and who is going to become our customer. So this is how it works. Now, in terms of finished product, we are happy to
Okay, together with me is Mr. Jeff Gohar. He is the president of Advanced Beauty Lab. Advanced Beauty Lab is a contract manufacturer, and Jeff Gohar has over 20 years of experience in this business, from product development, production, manufacturing, sales, marketing, and so on and so. So welcome, Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Sam Sheffer.
Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit better and tell us what Advanced Beauty Lab can offer to our customers?
I'm Jeff Gohar. I'm the Vice President of Advanced Beauty Labs. I've been with Salvona ABL for over 15 years now. I've successfully helped existing brands, large and small, develop new products. I also worked with independent brands take their first leap into launching their first brand.
Great. What is your specific service that you're offering, and what makes your service so unique that we would like to work with you?
So ABL, as you know, we're a contract manufacturer in New Jersey. We manufacture skin and cosmetic products. But we have a very unique twist that goes beyond what you may not find in other vendors. We offer our clients unique technology-based solutions rather than copy and paste stock formulations.
Thank you. If you would like to connect with Jeff, it's in Advanced Beauty Lab, and you see here the phone numbers and the email. Jeff and his team will be excited to talk to you and work out with you to the best of everybody, the customers, you, us, and everybody else. To end this webinar, I would like to let you know that I didn't make all this up. Here is a list of references that I used. If you're interested to review, they are very interesting. They provide a lot of information about the stability, the trend, and so on. And I would like to mention that in Salvona, we work 24/7 online. The line is available to you. You can order samples for free. You don't pay for the samples. You do pay for the shipping. So bunch them together and let us know if you're a consultant. We allow you to get more samples than regular customers. You can also use the website to review our past webinars and see what are the next webinars, so you can schedule attending them. In case you missed a webinar, it's not the end of the world. They're all recorded and will be available online all time. If you have a CDA with us, then you get access to additional information in terms of regulatory, like what is the correct formula and so on. So CDA is required to get specific information. But another feature of the website that is unique to Salvona is you go to salvona.com contact, and then you can choose with whom do you want to talk. This is a fantastic service because you can schedule a meeting whenever you are available. We will be available. So it's not a matter of trying to call and nobody picks up, because people are busy like you are busy. But if we schedule a time, then we will be happy to be with you and share information.